All you music maniacs, what's up? It's Pete Thorn. Welcome to the studio. Hey, this is another video I'm doing in conjunction with my good pals at Guitar World magazine. This is a review of the TASCAM Series 208i audio and MIDI interface. Now you see it sitting right here on the desk beside me. You heard me use it to record that little piece of music at the beginning of the video. Now I busted this out yesterday afternoon, was able to get it set up and get all the bundled software installed and figure out how to use it, and then I wrote that little piece of music and I had it done by late last night. So I was pretty impressed with the ease of use, ease of software installation, and my ability to figure out this thing enough to get a song done and mixed in the same day that I broke it out of the box. I think that's pretty cool. Now, it comes in at a really, really good price. Manufacturer suggested retail in the US is $5.99, but I see it at multiple outlets online for much less than that. And for that, what you get is pretty darn impressive. You've got 20 inputs and 8 balanced outputs. Okay, so it's 4 inputs on the front of the unit via these combo jacks right here. You can plug in XLR style microphone cables here, TRS 1/4-inch cables, standard 1/4-inch guitar cables here, and there's a switch on each channel to take you from instrument level to line level to microphone level. And there's also a separate phantom power switch on every single channel. Now that's a really cool feature, having separate phantom power switch on every channel, because if you want to use, say, dynamic condensers and ribbon microphones, phantom power can damage ribbon microphones, many of them. So you're going to want to have that individual ability to switch on and off the phantom power on every channel if you want to, say, run a condenser and a ribbon mic at the same time. So that's a really nice feature in an interface that is at this price point. You've also got 2 separate headphone jacks on the front. That's pretty nice in a unit this size. And 8 balanced outputs on the back. I mean, that's terrific for sending out to effects, or maybe you want to create different headphone mixes, or maybe even use some sort of analog summing box when you're mixing. It's just really nice having the option of all those outputs on the back, and all balanced as well. The extra 16 inputs, because you might be saying, I thought you said it's 20 inputs. Well, those are accessible via the optical digital inputs on the back. So you could get something like a microphone preamp that's got an optical digital out and add more inputs to your whole rig that way. There's also word clock. Okay, so there's that option if maybe you do video and you want to, link everything in your studio via word clock for really rock solid clocking. That can be pretty cool to have. The microphone preamps are 4 of TASCAM's HDDA mic pre's. They sound great. I recorded my acoustic guitar through them and I was really happy with the sound I got. And the headphone amp in it is really nice and beefy. I like that as well. I was able to get lots of level out of it. No problem getting my headphones up to the level that I like to listen at, which is maybe too loud sometimes. This is the software mixer for the 208. There's compression and EQ on every channel, so you can track through this compression and EQ, and you'll hear it when you record your tracks in your DAW. And it's at super, super low latency. As a matter of fact, it feels like pretty much 0 latency. And it sounds really good too. I used it on the clean guitar as well as on the acoustic guitars and the bass, pretty much everything. I had a little EQ and compression on the input. So there's also a reverb with a send on every channel. So this is great if you're, say, tracking a vocal and you want to do it at 0 latency, but you wish you had a little bit of reverb in your headphones. Well, you can send out to this reverb from every channel and get a little bit of hall or room sound and get a nice ambience in your headphones going. And keep in mind, these effects, they run on Tascam's internal DSP, so for super low latency, as well as you're not taxing your computer's DSP. So I mentioned bundled software that the 208i comes with. It comes with a version of Cubase by Steinberg. I didn't actually install that because I'm a Logic user, so I recorded in Logic. But if you don't have a DAW yet, you're going to get Steinberg Cubase with the unit, so that's pretty nice. Okay, it also includes a Tascam version of IK Multimedia's Amplitude, so that's great for guitar players and bass players, as well as IK Multimedia's T-Rax mastering software. Also included is Neutron Elements from iZotope. This is a terrific plugin that has EQ, compression, as well as an exciter built in. I really enjoyed using it. It's got a terrific UI, and it just sounds great. I know I'm going to use it more in the future for sure. So that was a nice surprise. And I used a lot actually in the mix, both on the master bus as well as on the individual tracks. So long story short, you've kind of got a one-stop shop here, everything that you need to maybe even record a small band. Let's say your guitar, bass, and drums. You know, on the drums, you could have a mono overhead and a kick drum microphone plugged into 2 of these inputs on the front. Guitars and bass, you could plug into these other 2 inputs right here. You could use the bundled Amplitude software for the guitar and bass sounds, and you could use the bundled Steinberg Cubase software to record. So if you want to get a great kind of all-in-one solution with a great suite of bundled plugins, seems like this is a terrific option. Let's take a look at the Tascam software mixer now, and then I'm going to show you some of those tracks from the song at the beginning of the video soloed outside of the mix, and I'll show you some of the bundled plugins as well and how I use them on those tracks. So for that first clean guitar part in the song, I was using the clean channel on my PT15 amp from Sir, my signature amp, and that amp has a load box and a line out on it with speaker simulation. So I took that line out, plugged the TRS line out cable right into input 1 on the Tascam, and then on the software mixer, I added a little bit of compression and EQ. I was adding just a little bit of upper mid, somewhere around 2K just to make the sound punch out a little bit. And then I also used just a couple dB gain reduction just to smooth out the sound a little bit. I also added some compression a little bit more in the mix later, more on that in a second. But let's listen to what the EQ and the compression on the input strip sounds like. Okay, so really nice for fine-tuning the sound, just tailoring in the tone a little bit there with a little bit of EQ and compression right on the input. I recorded a stereo pair of acoustic guitars. It was my Taylor 12-string, and I used my Slate microphone here right into one of the inputs, and it just sounded great. I used the Neutron Elements plugin as well in the mix to add some compression EQ. Actually, I used a preset. It came up under the acoustic guitar, folder in the presets folder, and it just sounded great. So I don't even think I really tweaked it that much. Anyways, here's the acoustics panned out in stereo, double tracked, my Taylor 12-string. Electric guitars were going through a big muff pedal into my little Princeton reverb amp, mic'd up with a Bear Dynamic ribbon mic, and plenty of gain on the mic preamps for the ribbon mic. No problem there. I barely had to crack it open, actually, because I had the amp cranked up pretty loud. And then I just blended them all out together and kind of in stereo, and down to one stereo bus in the mix. And once again, I used Neutron Elements in order to kind of carve out the tone a little bit and make a nice space for it in the mix so that it wasn't too harsh or whatever, just kind of add some compression and even the whole thing out. And I really like the sound that I got actually on that part. All right, let's check it out. On the master bus, I use the T-Rax mastering EQ that's included as part of the bundled software. That's from IK Multimedia. And I also use Neutron Elements a bit again and use some of their compression as well as a little bit of their EQ as well. I just tweaked it until it sounded good. So let me play what it sounds like right now with everything on the master bus bypassed. And then with everything on, you can also kind of see my settings on the screen that I used for the two different plugins. Okay, here we go. Thanks for watching my video on the 208i audio MIDI interface. 20 ins, 8 outs, USB from the nice people at TASCAM. This is a really nice unit. It's a great option, all-in-one, included everything you need to get started recording and mixing. You've got great bundled software. I should say it's built really well. I mean, it's all metal construction, and I like the slant, the way that the unit kind of slants up on the desk. Was able to easily get all my cables plugged in, even over the kind of the armrest lip on my desk here, and I think it's a nice design. It was easy to use, easy to get up and running, easy to get good sounds, and at this price point, just a really, really nice value with all the bundled software, and I mean 20 ins and 8 balanced outputs. Suggested retail of $5.99 is really impressive. Not to mention compression and EQ on every channel, built-in reverb with the software mixer that all runs off internal DSP, so you're not taxing your computer. That's really nice. What's not to like? You can check it out further at the link down there in the video description below. Click there, it'll take you to all the info that you could ever want to know about the Series 208i and the other audio interfaces that Tascam has available. Be sure and check out my friends at Guitar World as well. There's a link down there in the video description below to take you to the Guitar World website. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell beside the subscribe. You will get an alert every time I put out a new video. I'm Pete Thorn. Take care, you guys. Over and out.